Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice to radio, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited. And you might be thinking, hang on a second, Wassy, you're an excitable man. You are often excited. What's different? And the reason is, there's a new Pokemon! Kind of. Because it doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. So what actually happened? Well, there were rumours flicking around yesterday. There was a Eurogamer article, I'll pop a link to that one in the description, that leaked a picture of a Pokemon that was essentially as a placeholder for Kecleon. But it held the design number 891. Now, at the moment, the largest Pokedex number we actually have is 807, which is Zeraora. So 891? That doesn't mean that necessarily it's not a new one, but it is weird because 891 is well above what we would be doing. Having said that, the design does have both regular and shiny versions. Obviously, the regular version has been on the screen since the beginning of the video. Why would it not be? Here are the images from Eurogamer, which were tweeted out by Trials on Twitter. And you can clearly see here there is a regular and shiny version. Although, for colorblind people like myself, the shiny version is one of those. It's not looking particularly different. So we'll go through the rumours in a minute, but I woke up this morning to rumours that it was turning up in Asia after the conclusion of the Chikorita Community Day. Now, what's important about that is, obviously, the Chikorita Community Day is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. regardless of where you are in the world. So in places like Asia, that are far ahead of the rest of the world, it happened early. Well, it's just finished in Europe, and I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, this little dude is everywhere. I was looking out for it, I'd heard the rumours, and as soon as it finished, what happened? This little guy pops up on me screen. So I catch one of them, and there's no name, there's no CP, there's no information whatsoever, but I think, well, that's all right. Soon as I catch it, I'll get all this information about the Pokemon, but no. It, in fact, turned into a Ditto, which is weird, and there's a rumour on that. I'll talk about that in a moment. So we don't have any information on this. Here's what's really weird, though. Here's a picture of where I was at the time. You can see there's a couple of these little guys running around. But you might notice at the bottom of the screen there, the recently seen Pokemon. There's a Girafarig, still not caught one of them incidentally, but I'm sure I'll find one in the next day or two. And there's two of these little guys. Well, within a couple minutes, this had happened. All of the nearby Pokemon had turned into this little guy. Weird, right? And I caught a couple of them and they all turned into Ditto. Now, I am hearing rumours over on Cerebi that actually it has been turning into other Pokemon, so largely Ditto, but also Chikorita as well, and I think they said it had turned into a Kecleon. So we don't actually know, is the honest answer, what's happening with this. It's a weird kind of Pokemon about whom we have no information, and that's weird. Now, Cerebi does have a little bit more information. You see, the head of marketing for Niantic, they are the people that make Pokemon Go, over in Japan, Kento Suga, has started tweeting about this, indicating it is a tease and not a mistake. Here's a tweet he sent out. To be completely honest, the head of Pokemon Go global marketing is not going to tweet out a picture of this if it's a mistake or if it's a glitch. That doesn't happen. In my real life, when I'm not making silly YouTube videos about Pokemon, I teach business. I have researched business extensively. I like to think I'm quite knowledgeable about business. This does not happen by mistake. Maybe, and I, just for the record, do not think this is the case, but there is a tiny chance he wasn't supposed to tweet this out, and he's going to get in an awful lot of trouble. Except he tweeted it out 6 hours ago, and it's still there. And if he wasn't supposed to tweet it out, if he wasn't authorized to share this information, it wouldn't still be there 6 hours later. Sometimes people in companies do tweet things they're not supposed to tweet. It happens. It's a feature of 2018 life. And they get fired and the tweets get taken down. Maybe they don't get fired, maybe they get lucky. If he is the global marketing lead for Pokemon Go, and according to his Twitter bio he is, and he tweeted this out, it's real. So, we can get away from the whole it's a rumor, it's a glitch. It is real, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real thing. So what is it? It's got to be a Generation 8 Pokemon. Because Generation 8 is coming out next year in 2019. That's confirmed. We are getting the 8th generation of Pokemon titles next year. Similarly, we know that new Pokemon are going to be revealed in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, or at least a new Pokemon's going to be revealed at the very least. And we know that Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee are going to have cross-functionality with Pokemon Go. You can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go into them. They've got a lot of kind of similar mechanics. So again, I really don't think there's any argument as to, oh, they wouldn't launch a new Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Initially, I'd say you were right. A while ago, I would have said there is absolutely no way whatsoever we are going to get a new Pokemon revealed in Pokemon Go. It's just never going to happen. But it is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We know it's going to happen. To be precise, we know there's going to be a new Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, given the cross-functionality of Pokemon Go. I mean, look, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are clearly aimed at people who play Pokemon Go, as well as regular Pokemon fans. What would be a fantastic, wonderful, brilliant marketing gimmick to get people who are interested in Pokemon Go, interested in the regular games, release a brand new Pokemon in Pokemon Go for a very limited time, make it super mysterious, and get everyone really curious as to what's going on. Oh, look, that seems to be exactly what they've done. So it's definitely not a mistake, and if it's not a new Gen 8 Pokemon, it makes no sense whatsoever, so I'm calling it's a Generation 8 Pokemon. So what can we tell about this? And the answer is very little. The lovely folks over at Cerebi have made a page on the new Pokemon, and if we look at their page, we don't know the name in US or Japan. We don't know the type, we don't know the height, we don't know the weight, we don't know the ability. We don't know very much at all. Here's a weird thing though. There was a story going around a while ago about Pokemon designs from Gold and Silver that were never used. And here is an image of a Steel-type evolution of Ditto which never got released. Ditto was supposed to have a Steel-type evolution. Now clearly this Pokemon is nothing like the Pokemon that we see. It's not this new Pokemon. But it seems like an awful coincidence that Ditto had a Steel-type Pokemon, and then all of a sudden, we end up with a Steel-type Pokemon that turns into Ditto. Now, it might not have anything to do with Ditto. This might just be a super convenient way of giving people Ditto. Because, of course, Ditto's a hard Pokemon to catch. There's an image on screen here, and essentially this shows you all the Pokemon that can turn into Ditto. And when you're trying to catch Mew, you had to catch a Ditto, and essentially you catch one of these Pokemon, cross your fingers, it turns into a Ditto. So it might have nothing to do with Ditto, and just be an excuse to be like, hey, here's an easy way to get Ditto. But I think it's something to do with Ditto. It could be a pre-evolution of Ditto. There is one thing I feel extremely confident about. It is a metal-type Pokemon, or a steel-type Pokemon. Steel in the video game, metal in the trading card game. Of course it's a steel-type. It's clearly got a nut on its head. It's definitely a steel-type. Okay. So that makes me feel good. To me, it looks like a pre-evolution. It kind of looks like a baby Pokemon. Not a Hey Nick baby Pokemon, but a baby Pokemon like Cleffa or Igglybuff. Again, this is just conjecture from me. I've been searching around the internet. Nobody seems to know very much at all. Cerebi is a brilliant, wonderful Pokemon website. They know very, 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 very little about it. Eurogamer had the leak yesterday. And they did have the sprites, both regular and shiny. And that's it. That's literally it. That's all they had. And we have a potential Pokedex number of 891. Now, the last thing I can tell you is, don't be too worried about the number 891. It might have the number 891. What they might be doing is giving us an early version of a Generation 8 Pokemon, just chucking it to us a little bit early. And then it doesn't necessarily have to be 808 and come after Zeraora. It could be 891 and we just get a whole bunch of other Pokemon in Generation 8. I mean, this happened with Munchlax. Munchlax was not the first Pokedex number in Generation 4, but it was the first Generation 4 Pokemon to be revealed quite early. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, and that does actually add a little bit of credence to my It's a Baby Pokemon. So to confirm, it might have a Pokedex number of 891, but we don't know. I'm fairly sure it's a Steel type, and I think it's going to be a baby Pokemon, or at least a pre-evolution. That's literally all we know at the moment, and that's not very much to go on. The one important thing, and I cannot stress this enough, it's not a glitch, it's not a mistake, it's real. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video where we don't have many answers, so I want you guys to go nuts in the comment section. Tell me everything you think about this. Give me your rumours. Tell me what you've heard. Go absolutely nuts. But do remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.